Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being here. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I turned this very boring and awkward space that I really had no idea what to do with into a super cute and cozy book nook that I now love. This took about a week to finish, 2 trips to the thrift store, and many splinters. So stick around a while, subscribe if you want, and without further ado, let's get into it. The first part of this project I tackled was making the shelves for my books. I just got a 10-foot 2x8 and I cut it into 4 equal pieces. The 2x8 was around $11. I guess I'll try to include the prices of anything that I had to buy for this project. I'm nosy, so I always like to know that kind of stuff, but I recently moved back into my childhood home, which is lucky for me because there's a lot of random stuff laying around, like this old wood stain that I can use, so I didn't really have to spend a whole lot of money on this project, and also I'm pretty good at scavenging. Next, I moved on to making the little bench that I wanted to sit below the windowsill. The bench took 3 10-foot 2x4s, which were about $6 a piece, and then I already had the OSB board, which I used for the seat. Both of the wood projects got about 3 coats of stain on them just because I wanted them to be as dark as possible. I wanted to do a stain that was actually more of like a black walnut, but we just gotta use what we have, people. Speaking of using what we have, for the cushion of the bench, I cut up a piece of memory foam mattress that I had previously cut off a mattress in order to get it to fit into my camper, and my mom wanted me to throw it away, but I just knew eventually this spare trash would come in handy, and looky here. I also cut up an old duvet just to give it a little extra height. It was actually cheaper to buy this throw that was $12 instead of buying 2 yards of really cheap and thin fabric, and the throw is so much softer and cozier too, so I'm really happy I went with this. And then I just screwed in the top to the bench frame and it was done. Making the bench was definitely what took the longest in this process. I only have a circular saw, which for some reason is really hard for me to cut straight lines with. So it makes it really difficult to make like a perfect box when a lot of the ends of your wood are not exactly straight. So it was definitely a little bit frustrating, but I was really happy with the end result. Next, I needed to clean the book nook area. I got onto the roof to fully clean the window, and then I vacuumed all the floor. The window was super dirty, but this space has pretty much been empty forever, so I didn't have a whole lot of cleaning I needed to do. And then came the moment of truth, which was seeing if I measured this area correctly. This doesn't fit. I was so worried that this bench wasn't going to end up fitting into the very back of the book nook, but luckily it was just perfect. I was going to build the seat like into the wall, but the wall's kind of like bowed inward, so it would have been really hard to like make cuts to fit that perfectly, so I'm glad I went with a movable bench. Then I moved on to hanging the curtains and putting up the shelves. I did my best to make sure I screwed into the studs, but some of them were just a little bit off center, so hopefully these shelves will stay put. Oh god, what are you doing? Please stop. Also, trust me, I tried to make a stud finder joke, but I just couldn't get it to go off when I pointed it towards myself, so just imagine that I did. Watch right below where I'm screwing in the shelf hardware. I was so bamboozled when this happened. I'm so glad that I got those nails like popping through the drywall on video, or else it would have been so hard to explain to my mom what exactly happened. Then I just finished securing the shelves without any other issues. I decided that I hated these curtains, so I replaced them with some other ones from my old apartment, and these fit so much better. They really brighten up the space compared to the last curtains. I found these outdoor lights that my mom wasn't using, and I loved like the light bulbs on them, but this green was just so aggressive, so I decided to take out all of the bulbs and then spray paint it gold. And while that was drying, I got to work on the gallery wall. All of these gold frames I've had forever. I think I got them at a thrift store for like $1 a piece. And then I found all of this amazing art on Etsy. This person makes the cutest digital art, and I bought this Victorian classic set that includes different drawings for like Jane Eyre, Pride and Prejudice, and the Nutcracker, and just a ton of other themed drawings. And these are the same PNGs that I used to create my YouTube banner. So I just printed these out for the frames and switched them out with some of my old watercolor art. Here is the finished light cord. I'm so glad that I painted it gold. It really makes such a huge difference. It looks so much better and it goes a lot better with the gold frames. And then I put in a few hooks to hang the lights. I also added a few hooks to below the bench so that I could hang the lights and they wouldn't just be laying on the ground. Next, I hung all of the frames with some Velcro sticky tape and some command strips. I made them all as level as possible, but like my floors are not level, the walls are not level, so I just did my best. Next, it was time to run through the thrift store with my sister, and of course I had to squish all of the squishies that I found. But I have a hard time visualizing how certain things are going to look in the space that I want to put them in, so the fact that I found several items that I liked was a major win for me. I got this super cute metal vintage looking frame and it was only $3. And then I found this 1960s or 70s looking miniature tea set, and I am obsessed with all things miniature. It's just so cute. The tea set was originally $22, but it was half off, so I got it for $11. And then I found this even more miniature teacup, and I like to pretend this is me with my bag of books, and then this is my fictional silly little boyfriend who does all my chores for me while I read. But I feel like I need to find something secretive to like put in there. It's just so cute. I also found this very sturdy and heavy brass candle holder and this vintage looking kerosene lantern. The candle holder was $6 and then the lantern was $10. Thimble looks like a huge giant next to this little teacup. But then I moved on to the main event of the show, which is adding the books to the shelves. Over half of these books are Western novels that I'm really hoping I can get to before the end of the year. This is also the perfect location for my English ivy plant. I'm really happy about how well it's doing. This window gets a lot of sunlight in the mornings, so this is the perfect location for it. I didn't really mean for the second shelf to be like a red, orange, yellow color scheme, but it kind of ended up that way, and I really liked the way that it looked. I added my little air plant and the macrame hanger, and then I moved on to the highest shelf. My sister got me this super cute little Greek inspired pot, but I'm still trying to find a plant that could fit easily into this pot. So there is my completed third shelf. It's not as aesthetically pleasing as the second one, but then I just finished it off with a framed picture of my dog. Then I moved on to the lowest shelf, which is definitely the most visible, so I wanted to put all of my favorite classics on this one, as well as my super cute new little tea set. I added a little bit more greenery and then some final touches like blankets and pillows. I also brought some of my plants inside. There's possible like frost warnings, so I went ahead and moved them here to where they could get lots of natural sunlight during the winter. I had to make some hard design decisions, like not including my most prized Furby, but I just decided he didn't really fit the overall aesthetic that I was going for. Thimble is really enjoying her new sitting space, so without further ado, let's cue the final results montage. It was so satisfying to finally transform this area and figure out what to do with a really awkward little space that's too small for normal furniture, and I was able to turn it into a very useful space that makes my room look so much better. This little project definitely gave me some great ideas on what I want to do with the rest of my room, My bedroom is pretty much completely bare, so I still have a lot to do on that end of things, but this book nook really helped brighten up the space, and I'm excited to tackle a larger project like my room. I might do like a room makeover video, but that'll definitely be a lot more intensive than just like a smaller book nook like this. So there you have it, my completed book nook transformation. I really hope you enjoyed it. So thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.